Time to test your trivia IQ as we play the world's most popular trivia game, Trivial Pursuit. And here's the star of the show, the man who knows some surprising facts about grasshoppers, Wink Martindale!
Thank you, Randy West. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome to the television version of Trivial Pursuit. You know, when I was a boy, I owned a pogo stick, so I'm something of an expert on grasshoppers. Did you know that pound for pound, grasshoppers are 3 times as nutritious as beef? However, I have heard that they tend to cause hiccups a lot. Moving right on to the next subject, we have lots more trivia to cover today. And to help us, we have 3 contestants who will be answering questions and competing for a chance to play our bonus game for a fabulous trip to, if you've never been to San Antonio, Texas, that's where you're going to be going. Here's how we play. Each of our players has a game pie in front of them. The object of the game is to be the first player to light up all 6 colors in that pie. They do that by answering questions from categories that match those colors, and it takes 2 questions to light up a color. Our round 1 questions are all general trivia, and the categories are geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature, and sports and leisure. Our first player is Fred Jackson, a business consultant from Valencia, California. Fred, you'll choose the first category, and I'll ask you a question. Get it right, you'll light up a wedge in your pie. Get it wrong, and your opponents, Alice or Pat, can steal that wedge with the correct answer. Where do you start?
Let's try geography.
Okay, for that question. What South American country got its name in 1499 when explorer Alonso de Ojeda saw houses built on stilts over the water, so he dubbed it Little Venice?
Venezuela.
Yes, that is correct. You have that wedge. You fooled me. I didn't think you were going to have it.
I didn't either.
It came to the last moment. Say hello to Alice Apple, a librarian from Sylmar, California. Alice, select please.
Science and nature, please.
Here's your question in that category. If you count the number of times a snowy tree cricket chirps in 15 seconds and add 40 to that number, you'll get a fairly close reading of what?
Lightning.
No? Pat?
Temperature.
Yes, Fahrenheit or temperature. Say hello to our third player, Pat Piers, a recycling coordinator from Simi Valley, California. Pick a category, Pat.
History, please.
Here's your question, Pat. In 1981, what first lady made news when she set the table at the White House with a brand new $200,000 set of china?
Nancy Reagan.
Yes, indeed. So that takes care of the first 3 categories. Fred, select again.
Sports and leisure.
Fred, in sports and games, what tongue-in-cheek award, which shares its name with a notably stupid bird, is sometimes given to the person who comes in last?
Dodo.
No. Alice or Alice?
Turkey.
No. The Booby Prize.
Oh.
Booby Prize. Alice, it is your turn.
Okay.
Pick a category, please.
Art and literature, please.
Art and literature for this question. What literary little lord became so popular that women in England and America took to dressing their little boys in velvet suits like him?
Little Lord Fauntleroy.
You got it. Okay, Pat, there's only one left. This one belongs to you. It's on entertainment, and here's the question. When MGM boss Louis B. Mayer told child star Margaret O'Brien she could have any birthday present she wanted, she asked for what famous collie?
Lassie.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we're all out of categories. That means the end of our first round. Before we take a break, let's find out a little bit about our players. Fred, you picked up 1 wedge, so that means you need 11 more before you win the game. Your wife accuses you of loving golf more than her.
Yes, she does, but...
How accurate is that, Fred?
Not real accurate. I didn't even take my golf clubs on the honeymoon.
What a nice, thoughtful individual, I think.
I try very hard.
Fred, welcome. Alice, you picked up 1 wedge. You need 11 more to win. I hear you make the world's most wonderful cheesecake.
If you don't believe it, just ask my arteries. Yes.
Boom, boom.
I love dessert.
You know, my wife might challenge you, though. She makes pretty good cheesecake, too.
It's fun. It's
Just
not
ask
hard
her
to make.
arteries.
Yes.
See, it didn't work the first time, and it didn't work the second time. Alice, nice to have you here. Pat, you picked up 3 wedges, and you need only 9, so you're in the lead. You're known at work as the dumpster diver. You got to explain that to us.
Well, Wink, as a recycling coordinator, sometimes to help educate people, we literally have to get into their trash and show them the things that they can recycle instead of throwing away.
What's the most unusual thing you found in somebody's trash?
One time we came across about 5 pair of dentures.
Somebody obviously had grown some new teeth, and they didn't need their old dentures anymore. Pat, nice to have you here. Pat, Alice, and Fred vying for the championship. We'll be back with round 2, where the categories change, but the trivia keeps on coming. Welcome back to Trivial Pursuit, everybody. We're about to start our second round. All of the questions in this round relate to television, and the categories are classics, sitcoms, drama, kids and games, stars, and wild cards. Alice, we start this round with you. Pick a category, please.
Drama, please.
And it's a two-parter. It's a bonus question.
Okay.
Alice, get this right. We'll give you a chance to pick up an extra wedge and an extra $100.
Okay.
Listen to this familiar television theme, please. Alice, that theme was on the Billboard charts for 14 weeks in 1968. What weekly spy show did it introduce?
I Spy.
No. Fred?
Mission Impossible.
You got it. Mission Impossible, the answer, not I Spy. Now you have a chance at $100 and another wedge of any color you choose if you answer this follow-up question. A husband and wife team were regulars on Mission Impossible until 1969. Martin Landau played Master of Disguise Rollin Hand. Who was his wife who played the beautiful Cinnamon Carter?
Barbara Balsam.
No, Barbara Bain.
Ah.
Barbara Bain, not Balsam. Okay, it's your turn, Pat.
Classics, please.
Here's your question for that blue wedge. What show's much-watched final episode was titled The Judgment, in which viewers learned who killed Helen Kimball?
The Fugitive.
I'm sorry, you're too late. Fred?
Fugitive.
Yes, The Fugitive. The Fugitive is the answer. And Fred, it is your turn to select.
Sitcoms.
Here's your question for a pink wedge. In what southern city did the designing women set up their decorating business?
Savannah.
No. Pat?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia is the answer. Alice, it is your turn.
Let's go for kids and games.
Okay, for this question, on what popular game show did contestants try to place their X's and O's on a giant board after yours truly read the questions?
Tic-tac-toe.
That's correct, the new tic-tac-toe. I figured if I stayed around long enough, I will become part of a question. All right, Pat, it's your turn.
Wild card, please.
Question. What are the first names of the fictional couple whose wedding drew the biggest daytime audience ever and who are checking back into General Hospital?
Luke and Laura.
That's correct. You have that one. Back to you, Fred. One left, and it is a bonus question, a two-parter for you, Fred. Get it right, you'll have a chance for an extra wedge and $100. Take a look at this news clip. Watch our screen, Fred.
No, I don't feel bitter. Please, not for this kind of dough. Please, please, come on. Come on, would you switch places? Huh? Huh? You know, really, please. I mean, I'll call you a moron and give you my check and see if you can handle it. All right? I mean, really, okay?
Fred, that's Jay Leno announcing that he's taking over as host of The Tonight Show. Who was the very first host of the show when it debuted locally in New York in 1954?
Lester.
No. Alice?
Jack Parr.
No. Pat?
Steve Allen.
Yes, that's the answer. For $100 and an extra wedge, Pat, Jay Leno broke with Tonight Show tradition when he decided to go without an announcer sidekick. That tradition started with Steve Allen's sidekick, who later went on to host the match game. Name him.
Gene Rayburn.
You got it. You have that extra wedge. Very good, plus $100. What wedge would you like to light up?
Blue, please.
So be it. Okay, that was the last of our round 2 questions, so let's start round 3 with 6 new categories, and they are personalities, entertainment, headlines, music, sports and leisure, and wild card. And don't forget, we've hidden some bonus questions up there. Pat, it's your turn to pick a category first this time.
Music, please.
All righty, on music, whose album, Back to Broadway, entered the Billboard charts at #1 in July 1993, making her the first artist to have a #1 album in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s?
Tina Turner.
No. Alice?
Barbara Streisand.
You got it. What an album it is, too. Back to Broadway by Barbara Streisand. Fred, it's your turn. Select, please.
Sports and leisure.
Here's your question. What fashion started as sailor's gear, was worn by hippies, and is now called the biggest retail checkout item of the 90s?
Bell bottoms.
Yes, indeed. Alice, it is your turn. There are 4 categories remaining.
Headlines, please, Link.
Alice, from the French meaning to raise, what word is given to the earthen embankments that have been raised along the Mississippi, but that couldn't keep her waters in check in the floods of 1993?
Levee.
Indeed. Levees or levee? Pat, select please.
Personalities.
That's a 2-parter. It's a bonus question for you, Pat. Get this right, you'll have a chance for an extra wedge and $100. Take a look at this news footage, please. Look at our screen. Pat, that was a rather determined photographer parachuting into Michael Jackson's estate to try to get pictures of a wedding that was taking place there. Whose wedding was it?
Elizabeth Taylor's.
You got it. That's exactly right. For $100 and an extra wedge, that was Liz Taylor's 8th wedding to Larry Fortinsky. Who did she marry in her very first wedding?
Nicky Hilton.
That's right. Nicky Hilton, Conrad Hilton Jr. They called him Nicky. For $100, and what wedge would you like to light up?
Red, please.
All right, we light up that red one. We go back to Fred for one of 2 categories remaining. What's your pleasure, Fred?
Wild card.
Fred, high grades are the key to joining what Greek letter fraternity, the oldest in the United States?
Phi Beta Kappa.
Yes, indeed. You have that one. We light up that wedge. There's one category remaining. Alice, it is yours. It's on entertainment.
Okay.
Carl Laemmle first opened his studio to tourists in 1915, serving them lunch and fresh eggs. Now it offers tourists a ride back to the future. Name the studio.
Universal.
Correct. Universal Studios. And that's the end of round 3. Let's recap our scores and see where everybody stands. Fred, you need 7 wedges to win the game. Alice, you need 8 wedges to win the game. Pat, way out in front, needing only 3 wedges to take the game. But anything can happen. You've seen it happen in our final round on past shows. Let's see what happens right after this break. Welcome back to Trivial Pursuit, everybody. We've come to our final round in our game, and once again, we'll be playing our basic categories, the ones from round 1. I'm going to start this round by asking a question for all 3 of you, Fred, Alice, and Pat. The first player to answer correctly gets control of the game, which means you can keep picking categories and answering questions until you get one wrong, at which point either of your opponents can jump in and take control away. The first player to fill his or her pie wins the game along with $500 and the chance to play our bonus round for an additional $1,000 and the trip. So if you're ready, hands on buzzers. Again, this is for control of the game. Named for a bunch of street urchins who helped Sherlock Holmes, the club called the Baker Street Irregulars devotes itself to the works of what author? Fred.
Conan Doyle.
Correct, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Choose a category. You need 7 to win, Fred.
Entertainment.
Here is your question in that category. What 1957 Deborah Carr Cary Grant film is once again popular after frequent mentions in the movie Sleepless in Seattle?
North by Northwest.
No. Alice?
An Affair to Remember.
Right. You are 7 away. You're tied with Fred. Remember, Pat, only 3 away, so. Alice, select.
History, please.
You want history?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your question. Alice, one of the trusts that trust-busting President Teddy Roosevelt busted was what oil conglomerate owned by John D. Rockefeller?
Standard Oil.
Correct. And you have that yellow wedge. You're in control. Select again. You're only 6 away from a win.
Science and nature, please.
This is your question, Alice. What is the only substance on Earth that's naturally present in 3 different forms, as a liquid, a solid, a gas?
Oxygen.
No. Fred?
Hydrogen.
No. Pat?
Water.
Yes, water. As water, ice, and steam. Pat, you're in control. You need 3 to win the game.
History, please.
Your question is this, Pat. Whose hold on Chicago was so strong in the 20s that police stood and watched as he knocked down the mayor on the City Hall steps? Fred.
Al Capone.
Al Capone is the answer. You're back in control. Select, Fred.
Art and literature.
For this question, in 1928, whose play Strange Interlude was banned in Boston, though he won his 3rd Pulitzer Prize for it? Anybody? The answer is Eugene O'Neill. Eugene O'Neill. This is for control of the game. What mineral found in milk is the most abundant mineral in the body? Alice.
Calcium.
Yes, indeed. You are 6 away. Select.
Sports and leisure, please.
Should like sports and leisure. In what track and field event might a competitor use a technique known as the Fosbury flop?
High jump.
Correct. Select again. You are 5 away.
Science and nature, please.
On Science and Nature for that green wedge, in 1988, the drug Rogaine was the first drug ever approved by the FDA for what purpose?
Regrowing hair.
That is correct, for hair growth. You need 4 to win.
Geography, please.
Here's your question on geography, Alice. What Mideastern country, through which flows the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, now occupies most of the area once known as Mesopotamia?
Egypt.
No. Fred?
Syria?
No. Pat?
Iran.
No. Iraq is the answer. This is for control of the game. What is the French word for a roll shaped like a crescent? Fred?
Croissant.
Croissant is correct. You are 6 away. Select.
Entertainment?
Question on entertainment. Name the silent film cowboy star of the Range Riders who made the transition to talkies with such hits as Destry Rides Again in 1932.
Tom Mix?
That is correct. You are 5 away from a victory, Fred.
Art and literature?
On art and literature, what is the exposed beam architectural style popular in Queen Elizabeth I's time and named for her royal family?
Victorian.
No. Pat?
Tudor.
Tudor is the answer. You are 2 away, Pat.
History, please.
Here's your question. Pat, in 1835, what cracked for the second time while tolling for the funeral of Chief Justice John Marshall?
The Liberty Bell.
Correct. You are 1 away. It is on sports and leisure that you need this wedge for the win. What is the name for a pair of women's pants cut to look like a skirt?
Culottes.
Yes, you win the game. Very good, Pat. Congratulations to you. You've won the game and $500 and this prize. Randy, what is it?
It's Sirocco's 11-piece sturdy resin outdoor furniture set, including an extension table, 4 chairs, umbrella base, 2 side tables, plus 2 chaise lounges. Made in America by Sirocco.
And Pat, in a moment, you'll get a chance at $1,000 and a trip to San Antonio, Texas in our Trivial Pursuit Challenge round. Well, no money for Fred and Alice, but boy, what a close game. Alice, you ended 4 out, and Fred, you were 5 out of winning. But we do have some nice parting gifts, and our thanks for giving us a good game of Trivial Pursuit. Welcome back sometime. Pat, we'll be right back with you to see if you can win that fabulous vacation. Don't go away. We'll return in just a moment. Pat Pierce, our recycling coordinator from Simi Valley, California. And now you have a chance to win $1,000 in our trip to San Antonio. It's very easy. All you have to do is answer 6 questions correctly, Pat, in 45 seconds or less. Every time you answer a question, we light up a wedge of your pie. So let's put 45 seconds on the clock. Here's your first question. In the Bible, to what tribe did the giant Goliath belong?
Mennonites.
No. What classic American novel takes place aboard the whaling ship, the Pequod?
Moby Dick.
Yes. An audiologist is an expert in which of the 5 senses?
Hearing.
Yes. What's the German word for sausage?
Kielbasa.
No. What Mediterranean resort region is also known as the Côte d'Azur?
Pass.
In television, what did the initial CBS stand for?
Columbia Broadcasting System.
Yes. What Spanish conquistador is credited with discovering the Pacific Ocean?
Pizarro.
No. What is the American author of Go Tell It on the Mountain?
Pass.
The word saline means containing what?
Salt.
Yes. In 1985, what soft drink company made a classic mistake when it changed the flavor of its product?
Coke.
I don't know whether you got in under that or not, but the answer was Coca-Cola. Did he get in under the wire on that one? Okay, we'll give you that one, Coke. But you didn't win the trip because you didn't get all lit up. But we'll be back in a minute to total up your day's winnings and see what you missed in that round, Pat. Well, let's take a look quickly, Pat, at what you missed in the Bible. To what tribe did the giant Goliath belong? The Philistines. I think you said the Mennonites.
That's right.
What's the German word for sausage? Wurst. W-U-R-S-T. You said Kielbasa. What Mediterranean resort region known as Côte d'Azur? That's the Riviera. You passed on that one. What Spanish conquistador credited with discovering the Pacific Ocean? That's Balboa. You said Pizarro. The American author of Go Tell It on, James Baldwin. And that was it, but we do give you $100 for each correct answer. Add that to the $700 you earned in the game. Gives you $1,200. Pat, and our thanks for being with us on Trivial Pursuit. And thank you, too. Please be with us next time. Mike Martindale. Goodbye, everybody.
Some of our participants to receive.
Jonelle presents salon-style sculpture nails. Easy to apply. Just stick it, buff it, gel it, set it. You'll love it. Gel nails from Jonelle.
In-house accounting software turns your PC into a financial manager. Easy to use, this program organizing both business and home finances from In-house Accountant. The Sporting News Multimedia Pro Football Guide on CD-ROM features a wealth of statistics, action-packed photos, and much more from Compton's new media. An ensemble of Harris lamps with antique astrolabe design and brass finish accents and hand-decorated shades. Great lighting furnished by Harris lamps. Pasta Mamas brings convenience to gourmet cooking with their line of dessert pastas and sauces furnished by Pasta Mamas.